with Steele Foundation. We helped to design and build the underpinning and shoring work for the Howard Theater. We deal with steel all the time. This particular case here, this was an existing column, and we had to dig down 15 feet below it. So to facilitate that, we needed to install micropiles. We have these existing beams in the way. The existing ground was only about 2 feet below where I'm standing, so we only had about 10 foot of clearance to get a drill rig in here to actually drill the micropile in. This is where we start using these real specialized drill rigs that can get into these tight spaces.
Is it noisy like this all day?
All day, all day. Noise means money, so that's a good thing.
Initially, when we first saw the project, we noted that there was wet materials at the bottom of this excavation that was going to occur, which is nearly impossible to dig in, and as well as just the kind of capacities that you're going to get out of that ground. So that's what led us to doing micropile foundation, was to extend these foundations to a deeper, harder stratum so that the Howard Theater would settle. We felt that the Howard Theater would experience unreasonable, unnecessary settlements if you didn't do it. The geotech did some SPT, some standard penetration testing, where they come out and they drill some holes in the ground, and they found soft, wet materials at the subgrade, the new basement level.
Now we're below grade, and you have some handiwork down here that can't really be seen, but it's important.
Yeah, we're standing underneath the stage area right now, and there's two walls behind me and in front of me that are supporting the interior wall above. You can't see our work now, but we have micropiles underneath that wall. Those micropiles are supporting the new structure as well as the existing structure. These were used as well as temporary elements too. We were first shoring up the wall up high. We used those micropiles. Once the new foundation was poured, they attached those new foundations to our micropiles. So you can't see them anymore, but they're still keeping the structure stable.
What did it take to preserve these beautiful columns here?
Well, it was a little challenging, but what we did was install 3 to 4 micropiles around each of these columns. Then we used steel shoring to connect to the columns as well as the loads that tied into the columns. Pick all that up, put it on the micropiles, and then they were able to dig underneath these things. It was quite challenging at first. We've got a lot of loads here and historic structure that can't move. So once we tested the micropiles out back, we were really confident that they could take these loads. And at the end of the day, we got them all held up, and we've got great pictures of these things hanging in the air. And
a lot of load off your shoulders.
A lot of load off our shoulders once this concrete structure got in here, that's for sure.
All right, well, it looks great. What's it like to work next to this?
Well, it just complicates the job a little bit. It really brought up the idea of sequencing to us. Who's doing what? When are they doing it? Who's doing it first? Our idea was we wanted to get in and stabilize the Howard Theater with the micropiles and the shoring before this development started progressing down below Howard Theater. They're actually about 15 to 20 feet below the deepest excavation over here at Howard. So to us, it was a matter of really being able to shore up Howard Theater first and really getting the concrete structure built first before they really start digging next to it.
Did it work out the way you expected?
Well, we're not completely sure, but the Howard Theater hasn't moved. They did hold up their excavation till the Howard Theater was quite a far along way in construction. So I think it worked out okay. Final will still be told. We'll see how it all works out. But it looks like for now, Howard Theater's not going anywhere.
Here's more of your handiwork behind us.
Right. We're in the southwest corner of the Howard Theater right now, in the basement again. Right here you see a concrete wall. Well, behind that is underpinning, and that is work that we did to support the existing walls, and then they came back and poured a concrete wall in front of that. So it's again a case where you can't see our work, but it's literally 10 inches behind that wall. You have underpinning piers that are 3 foot wide, 5 foot long, and they got 2 micropiles in them. So we can't see them, but they're still helping keep the Howard Theater standing as right now.
This must be a beautiful view for you.
It is. It's nice to be standing up here. half a year ago, we were standing in the very bottom in the dirt, soil, if you will. Great to see this project coming along and close to fruition.
And to realize that none of this would be possible if you didn't have a strong foundation.
It really would. You never see the foundation, but a structure like this, over 100 years old, and you want to add a basement to it, and you've got wet soil down at subgrade, you really got to have a strong foundation. It's not going to settle. It's going to allow you to construct the new structure without damaging the existing structure. So it's very challenging, but this is the type of projects that we love. We live for these projects.
You thought, what did you think would be done by now?
The whole entire project would be done, but I think getting it out of the ground took longer than I thought. You know, all the foundation work and the concrete work done.
Was there any surprises in there that you weren't expecting, or?
Yeah, a big surprise was that the project next door was being done at the same time.
Ah, and that's very intricate, being that it's right over metro property.
Yes, exactly. Their design and their configuration of their foundation, watering their site, has the potential to affect our foundations. So it was a big concern when we were starting how that would affect our project.
So was it a challenge that you hadn't seen before, or?
Well, not that we hadn't seen before, but every project is unique. But studying the possible effects of the adjacent construction and their influence on our foundations was a challenge. And we had a number of different consultants, both on the adjacent owner's site and on our site, looking at it.
So you learned something today?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, good. You learned something in every job.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's beautiful now.
That's what I call a promotion.